Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new video. And as you can tell, I'm at the park. It's a beautiful day out here, and today we're going to be speaking about malefic planets in astrology, okay? Because these malefic planets, they are the ones that cause trouble in our life, okay? And people don't understand that these malefics are just teaching us a lesson in life, you could say. Well, first let's start from the basics. For every ascendant, right, there's something called functional malefic, okay? And that is when the planet multiple sign is ruling the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th house, considered a functional malefic. For example, Aries ascendant, the 6th house, about trouble and conflict, is being ruled by Mercury. The sign of is the rising of the 6th house for Aries ascendant is Virgo, so it's ruled by Mercury. Due to the fact that Mercury multiple sign is ruling the 6th house of conflict and problems, the strongest sign of Mercury is considered a functional malefic for the Aries ascendant. Okay, so let's try another ascendant. Okay, let's say Pisces ascendant. Okay, Libra, which is Venus actual sign, the strongest sign for Venus to be placed in, which is, you know, Libra, and Libra is controlling the 8th house. So for Pisces ascendant, Venus become a functional malefic because the strongest sign of Venus is controlling the 8th house of up and down. So Pisces might have a lot of up and down in relationship. So that's the problem, see? So that's what functional malefic is. When the strongest sign, let's say Mercury, Virgo, is controlling the 8th or the 6th or 12th. For Sagittarius, you know, Jupiter becomes a functional malefic when it's controlling either the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th. Planet's strongest sign that's controlling either those 3 houses becomes a functional malefic. Now let's talk about mild malefic. That means that the planet is not really considered, it's not causing that much problems, but it's causing problems at the same time. That's called mild malefic. And that happens when the second sign of each planet, let's say for Mercury, Gemini is the second sign. Okay, so if Mercury control the 6th or the 8th or 12th house, it's considered a mild malefic. You know, it's half malefic and half benefit. That's what it means. And for Jupiter, you know, Pisces, when Pisces, the sign is controlling the 6th, 8th, or 12th, it's considered a mild malefic. It's not really a malefic or a positive planet. It's in between. So that's what it signifies, okay? And that's what happens when those planets, when they control in those houses, they become malefic. And when they come in contact with positive planets, it might bring trouble. Okay? That's what usually happens. Okay, so let's talk about malefic planets in general. Like, just name them out, okay? Mars, Saturn are considered natural malefic. In some cases, you know, they bring trouble, they bring problem struggles, because Mars is about aggression and Saturn is about delay. And if those planets are conjoined, or, you know, conjoined with positive planet, it brings trouble. In some cases, you gotta look at which sign it is. Okay, so it brings trouble. Okay, so but still, Saturn is a malefic, but what Saturn is doing is just teaching you a lesson. Okay, because Saturn is connected to our past life. Okay, so wherever Saturn is placed in the chart is going to delay the process. So let's say you have Saturn in the 12th house. So what happens is that you want to travel to foreign land, you want to leave, you know, go far, but you can't. Why? Because Saturn is blocking your ability to travel, to go to foreign lands. Okay, it's blocking in Saturn in the 12th house. These people, they want to be connected to spirituality, but they can't because Saturn blocks. It's a very cold planet, so it's blocking their ability to imagine, to have imagination, and to travel. That's what happens. And for example, but what Saturn is doing is just teaching them a lesson. So when they get older, when they get past, you know, 28, they start realizing the importance of that actual house where Saturn is sitting at. So they become very blessed. Saturn blessed. It gives you frustration, but it gives you the true meaning of that house through time, and then you feel blessed. So let's say Saturn is controlling the 9th house. All right, what happens, these people, you know, probably early on they didn't believe in religion, they didn't follow the law, and because 9th house represents feeling fortunate in life, Saturn kind of, you know, restricts that. So a person who have Saturn in the 9th house, they always searching for, you know, happiness. What is happiness? Why do I feel so depressed? Because Saturn is putting a blockage in the fortune, in their fortune, to feel fortunate in life. But as they grow older, they start realizing what is important in life. They start realizing, and then they start believing in God, and they start understanding the true meaning of life. Because Saturn is showing them that it takes, you know, takes patience and dedication to truly understand something. That's what Saturn does. It delays it till the first Saturn returns. So when it first returns back to its position where you was born, usually happens when you're 28. Saturn gives you, you know, the blessing and understanding of that house and the ability to, you know, to express yourself towards that house. Okay. Another example too. When Saturn is controlling the 7th house, people feel restricted, you know, of relationship. They don't know why. Every time they try to do a partnership, you know, if Saturn is in a bad sign, they want to get married, they can't until past the age of 28. Saturn will show them responsibilities and how to value responsibility early on in age. So when they have that true spouse, you know, the true person that they're supposed to be with, they'll appreciate them. Okay? So yeah, that's what Saturn does. But Saturn just teaches them, everybody, a lesson. But the true malefic in astrology is not a planet. It's actually Ketu and Rahu. Anytime these nods, because in Western astrology it's considered the north node of the moon and the south node of the moon. The north node is Rahu, the south node is Ketu. So all these planets when these axis of Rahu and Ketu come in contact with planets, it brings trouble, a lot of trouble. Okay, because Ketu is connected. Ketu is about releasing and just letting go. Why? Because Ketu in everybody's horoscope is representing our past life, what we focus a lot on past life. And Rahu is what we strive for in this life. What's our main focus in life? What we're trying to achieve. That's what Rahu is. Okay, so and Ketu is about letting go, because you already mastered that. So when Ketu comes in contact with a planet, that planet feels detached. It's like it's off the planet, because it's conjunct and it's being blocked, you could say. So what Ketu does, it blocks any planet, especially when it's with Sun. Sun is confidence in your ego. So when Ketu comes in contact with Sun, people feel loss of ego when Ketu is conjoined Sun, and they feel unconfidence and they feel lost. Same thing if Ketu is conjoined Mars, the people with this willpower will feel like lack of willpower. In some cases, sometimes they have the ability to achieve things because they already mastered that in past life, but they won't have interest to do it. You know, so it'll be easy for them to achieve their goals. If Mars is in a good sign with Ketu, they will be able to achieve their goals, but they won't be as happy because they already did that in past life. And what Rahu does, Rahu actually gives too much. Okay, because it's what we strive for. So when Rahu comes in contact with Sun, it gets too much ego, and that's a problem. And people, you know, if let's say Sun is in Leo with Rahu and Leo conjoined together, this person could be very egoistic, you know, and that's really, it could be good and it could be bad in some cases, but they could be kind of rude because Rahu represents unorthodox, so their ego will be very unusual and very, you know. But the point is that people follow Rahu, and when they get tired of following that, they go back to Ketu. And then because when they go back to Ketu, they feel unsatisfied and they go back to Rahu. And this going back and forth make us create good karma and bad karma, because we're going back and forth, and it's a force inside of us. For example, look, let's say somebody has Rahu in Libra and Ketu in Aries. So this person in this life is focused on relationship. They're forced to be involved with relationship. So every time the relationship goes wrong, they go back to themselves, because that's what they use. They feel like, okay, let me just concentrate on me, because that's what they did in past life. Okay, so what happened is that these people could become, they try to be very individual sometimes, and they might ignore their partner, but then they feel unsatisfied because they already have concentrated in themselves in past life. So they go back to Rahu and Libra, and then they compromise again. That's for any sign. It goes back and forth. Let's say Rahu is in Scorpio and Ketu is in Taurus. A person will focus a lot on astrology and digging deep and transformation. You know, it could be quite chaotic. They might like that because Rahu is in Scorpio. But then when things get too chaotic, they lean back to Taurus with material and all this stuff. But what happened is that they don't feel the pleasure like they did in past life with Ketu, because they already master making money, they already master having a pleasurable life, a materialistic life. So in this life, they need to learn about the opposite sign, which is Scorpio. They need to learn about transformation, about digging deep, about the truth in this world that's not seen, because what we see in this world is all about material. Rahu and Ketu are the most malefic planets in astrology, I'm telling you. And if they're not well placed, they could bring trouble in one's life, because the reason the planets are placed like that is based on our past karma. That's the only reason. So let's say if Rahu is in Scorpio, it's already in a trouble sign. It's about dramatic changes, and Rahu always wants more. And the Lord is debilitated, which is Mars debilitating Cancer. People in the time period, you know, in the Mahadasha of Rahu, people will experience a lot of dramatic events in their life, and they might not be able to control it because Mars is in Cancer, is weak. Okay, and for those people who don't understand what's Mahadasha in Vedic astrology, what it means is a single planet is controlling your life for a certain time. So you could be running the cycle of Sun, and then you could change to Moon. So Sun is controlling your life for 6 years, and then you go to Moon. That's what Mahadasha is, controlling your life. So when Rahu Mahadasha comes, and if it's in a damaged sign, it will bring, you know, a lot of unorthodox and crazy events in one's life. So yeah, remember, Rahu and Ketu, the most malefic in astrology. All right, so thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe, man, and make it happen. Peace out, guys.